Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second season of Tell Me Dad. In this season, we will be asking my dad all questions that we have about life. These can be questions about career, personal development, or relationships, or whatever we can think of. So if you're interested in what my dad has to share this time, then stay tuned. Hello, Dad.
Hi, son. How are you doing?
I'm very good. How are you?
Well, not bad at all. How is the weather in Dublin?
Today it's actually quite nice. We have a blue sky.
Oh, wow. You get spoiled there,
Yeah,
Great.
yeah,
Here it's also kind of scattered clouds and but it's not raining. That is the big advantage. No, I hate rain. That's terrible.
yeah,
Rain and cold. That's oof. Okay, anyway, that's my personal problem.
yeah.
All right. So, or what are you coming up with today?
Yeah, first, how did you enjoy Dublin?
Oh, it was beautiful. It is a different town. I have some impressions that I made. I mean, first of all, it is a very busy town.
Yeah,
It is a lot of business in Dublin. Um, well, I saw a lot of pubs and a lot of restaurants. And I think these big buildings in Dublin, most of them are just business centers. Big companies have rented them. But what I didn't see in Dublin was children.
yeah. They don't
There
exist.
were no children. I mean, how do they create the next generation? These people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, but it's
it's
strange, isn't it? Or is that family life? Is that all outside Dublin?
that's mostly outside, but
Mostly
in
outside.
the end, that's also a bit similar to Germany. Um, most people that have family that have kids, they work in the city, but they live outside because as a
Yeah.
kid in Dublin city center, there's nothing really you can do.
Right, right. And then I noticed another thing, and that is if you live outside Dublin, how you get into Dublin. I mean, you have the buses, you have the tram, uh, but there is no metro system
Oh,
that takes you outside town. Like in Paris or even Moscow has very sophisticated subway system,
yeah,
or London and Milano, Milan. But there is nothing like that in Dublin. And okay, you could say, well, I have a car, I go by car, but I haven't seen any parking places.
yeah,
So it's all for either public transportation or taxi or whatever. So when I went back to the airport, I always love to chat with taxi drivers.
yeah,
The second I am in the taxi, I start
yeah,
talking to them, and it is good because I mean, on one hand, you get a lot of information from them, and you get used to the language they speak, and so I mean, this time I had a fellow that was, I think he was from Sri Lanka, and originally he was
yeah,
from Sri
yeah,
Lanka. So he was taxi driver, and we drove about 3, 4, 5 minutes out of the city center direction airport, and there was an area with very nice apartment buildings.
yeah,
Well, very nice. I mean, it was nicer than some of the other stuff that I've seen, but it was kind of nice, apartments with balcony, and I said, wow, it is beautiful here. What is the price to rent an apartment?
yeah,
Like, say a small two-bedroom apartment. Well, he said it's about 2.5 to 3,000 euros.
yeah,
I couldn't believe it.
yeah. But it's
Unbelievable.
true. Yeah, yeah,
It's And I said, well, these people here making so much money. He said he doesn't have a clue. It's he can never afford an apartment like this. He lives in. Well, he told me the name of the area, but he said, well, it's not really the best area in town, but it's kind of affordable.
Yeah.
So, so it's a city. Dublin is a city that has a lot of there is a lot of work to do for the
Yeah.
local government, for the mayor, for y- you see a city like that cannot make a long term cannot make a living just on pubs and little restaurants and stuff like that. Well, okay, they have a pretty smart tax system. The tax is reasonable for the people that start business in Dublin.
Yeah.
Um, and But I mean, long term, you cannot really count on that. A lot of businesses in the future, I don't think that they stay at one place. They create their subsidiaries, and the subsidiaries get more. Um, well, they get a longer line, and they still. Well, I'm talking especially about American companies,
Yeah.
because what you find in Dublin are a lot of American companies.
Basically, only American companies. Yeah.
Yeah, but long term, they keep their headquarter in the United States, and they will have subsidiaries in each country in Europe. I don't think that they keep on managing just the whole European continent from Dublin.
Yeah.
So because, well, they also depend on people that speak the local language, like how do you want to do business in Romania, in Hungary, in
Yeah.
Italy? You depend on people that speak the local language and that know the market, the local market, that know the culture and so on. You cannot manage that just from one place. To start your business, Dublin is perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect, but long term, you need partners in each country, and the world is getting smaller. With the media that's available, with the internet, with the meetings you can do, video calls and all that. You don't need to have a company in Dublin to manage the European market. You can also do that from an office in Chicago or Boston or whatever. So there will be a lot of changes. I'm quite sure about that. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
and
Let's
then
hope so.
Dublin has to think about alternative business models. But anyway, it's not going to be my problem.
Yeah.
It might be. It might be one of these days your problem.
It might be. It
You
might
you
be.
never know what you get into.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Okay.
alternative business models depends. I mean, tech is really, really huge here. The tech industry.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Every tech company is here. I mean, with
Yeah.
tech software tech.
Yeah. 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 Yeah,
Um.
sure.
Yeah. It's crazy. Every major one
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
here.
Well, I had two guys here, a couple that applied for the lot, the piece of land that we have for
Yeah.
sale here next door, and I they both well the man spoke only English, and the lady, well, young people, and the lady, she was bilingual, German and English.
Okay.
And well, it's funny, they also came from Sri Lanka. I mean, apparently a lot of people that just try to get away from Sri Lanka.
Yeah. Yeah.
So um the guy told me that he was in Australia for 12 years now, and then he decided to go into Europe and Germany, and he met his wife and so on. So, and they are both in the IT business,
Yeah.
and they both work from home.
Yeah.
They say, well, it doesn't make any sense. Why should I go all the way to an office and sit the whole day on my desk anyway?
Yeah.
So I can do the same thing in my house, and I am way more flexible.
Yeah.
So the most important thing about the house he's going to build is the room with his desk and the screen and a keyboard, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You know.
I
So
mean,
um, the world is getting smaller, and
yeah, and that's
then
also you mentioned the transport in Dublin. That is why remote work here is so crucial.
yeah,
We at
yeah,
Rippling we are allowed to do it twice a week, um, and basically any company has a system like that in
yeah,
place that you don't
yeah,
have to commute every day.
yeah, 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 yeah. whoa, all right, but still, I mean, if you stay in the city, well, if you yeah, well, okay, you stay at home for doing that work, of course, but the 2 or 3 days that you go into town, you still have the same problem.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. That
So
is,
I
yeah,
heard from a business, well, a model that companies are using now in Germany here. Well, it's amazing that Germany, if the German companies even get into something like that, it's almost like a big adventure. They have pools. They have pools. They investigate how many people or how many employees are living in an area pretty close
yeah,
to each other outside the city where it's so busy, and they rent an office building, or they build an office, and they have these people coming in there every day. So they don't have to go all the way into the headquarters. They can stay outside, not that far away from their house. And they are still kind of, in quotation marks now, under control. Well, okay. I am the old-fashioned guy. The companies that I owned, we didn't really know at that time home office,
yeah,
and you see, well, the German mentality is that, well, you like to have it under control, and well, if that guy has a home office, he probably goes shopping or he
yeah.
goes
I was
playing
gonna
soccer
say, probably in
something
your
like
entire career, you didn't do a single day of work from home, right?
No, not a single day.
That's
But
crazy.
but I must say, the business that I've been in, the machine tool business, for me it was always exciting
Yeah,
to walk through the factory
yeah,
hall to
yeah, you
see
did.
what people
Yeah,
were doing, and so it's kind of different. The IT business again is different.
sure.
I mean, at that time, the basic design work that we did in our company. Okay, if you have a design office, it's different. I must say, the last company I owned, I had uh, one guy that was working remote from home. He was a designer.
Yeah,
And well, to be quite honest, I knew the guy for like more than 35 years. And he had a big accident with his motorcycle
yeah,
a long time ago. And he was out of business. But he is a brilliant designer, brilliant designer. And he has always been in the machine tool business. So I contacted him and I actually asked him to set up a a working place, same way as we had them in the company.
yeah,
So he could work remote. He also had access to our server. So all the files, the machines that we have built, all the information that we had, he had access to that. So um, it was extremely successful,
yeah,
and he was reasonable, because I mean, to some extent, he was very happy that I offered him that job,
yeah,
and I got a special rate from him. So, well, he couldn't afford that. That was not. It was not that he was kind of starving. I think most important for him was the fact that he was in business again, that he received the respect that he deserved, that he could talk to Willie once in a while,
yeah.
chat about solutions, creating new solutions, new machine tools or devices or whatever. I think that was the key point for him. But again, otherwise, I did not really have any contact to people that worked remote, and I never worked remote because
Yeah,
if you are the managing director of a company, um, I believe in that a managing director has always show his face in the company,
yeah,
because the personal contact to your employees is very important. It
I
is.
mean, the
Well,
question
in my
is then
opinion.
if the
Well, at
employees
that
work,
time it was.
yeah, and again, if the
Yeah.
employees work remotely, they are not there either, so you have no one to show your face to.
Yeah, right. You are right. You are right. But my people have always been in the
Sure,
company.
sure.
But I
It really
must
depends
say,
on the industry.
yeah, they had a. I still remember the company I had in Dublin. They all had beautiful working places. It was just great, and they could do anything they wanted. They had kitchen and lunchroom and big coffee machine and refrigerator and all. It was for them. It was really very different to work at my company. Than I was kind of ahead of time in regard to other companies. So I always believed in. I mean, first of all, try to get the best people you can get your hands on. That was very important. The second is pay them well.
Yeah,
Pay them well so they don't get not the idea to think about leaving the company. And that system worked until I sold the company.
yeah,
And okay, other people might think different. Maybe today even the company works different, but I I heard that they are revenue wise not at half the numbers that I've been 10 years ago.
well,
So well, it's a question of motivation, the right people.
yeah,
Well, it's also kind of crazy because not a single one of my employees, not a single one,
yeah,
is still working with the company. They
yeah,
all have been made redundant. They all have been,
yeah,
well, kind of what I heard. The new owner, he wanted to create his own team, his new people. He had different philosophy and whatever. I don't give a damn for that.
yeah,
Good.
yeah,
My belief is never change a winning team. This is very
yeah.
important.
True. It was funny. It was a few months ago where our good friend from Düsseldorf, who helped you to sell your last
Yeah,
company,
yeah, yeah,
when he was over, we talked about COVID times and lockdown and everything. That work was
yeah,
hard,
yeah, yeah.
and then and then I told him that you were still going to the office because you wanted to be there, and whatever was possible with the regulations, you just went to the office.
Yeah, yeah,
And he
yeah.
asked me, "Wow, that's crazy. Didn't he do any work from home during that time?" And I was like, "You don't know my dad. He's not gonna do that. He's not gonna work from
Yeah.
home."
Yeah, it was kind of well. Again, machine tool
Yeah,
business
hundred
for
percent.
me it was exciting.
Yeah,
And well, one of my habits was always was when I got into the company, I checked the mail, I had a cup of coffee, and at 9 o'clock, I did my tour in the
yeah,
factory hall, and I
yeah,
talked to the people. I said hello, and I answered questions that they had, and I did that for, I mean, my whole life.
literally.
So
Yeah,
it was a different world. It was a different,
yeah.
but anyway. So
Sometimes I followed you.
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
And then you were
okay,
still
Sam.
smoking a pipe.
Yeah, listen, that was so enjoyable,
Yeah,
going down to the factory hall and lighting up my pipe, and it was a real pleasure. It was great. It was fantastic.
yeah.
Today it's outdated. People don't smoke pipe anymore.
No,
Well,
today
it's good
people
then.
vape. They smoke e-cigarettes.
The vape, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's horrible.
terrible.
That's
I mean, this
horrible.
is
Yeah,
this is pure chemistry.
it's
I
horrible.
mean,
Yeah,
my philosophy is that I mean I'm not a cigarette smoke. Cigarettes are kind of no. It's you don't do anything good to your body. But once in a while. Once in a while does not mean every week or every day or whatever.
yeah,
Once in a while, whenever there is an occasion that's worth it,
yeah.
smoke a good cigar.
Exactly.
But I
That's
mean,
wonderful.
a good one, a
Yeah,
good one, not any. I mean, rubbish. A real good one.
yeah.
And
100%.
it's great, and then it's something special.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. Did
Like,
that a few weeks
like,
ago when we had a friend
yeah,
over.
Yeah, you see, that's
Yeah.
it is great. It's great. It creates such a great atmosphere,
Yeah.
and if you drink a nice Irish whiskey,
Yeah.
with it,
Yeah. You have one
it's
now.
hey, yeah. You see, yeah, I have one. It's. I mean, the bottle is still closed,
Yeah.
and I told your mom I opened that bottle when Paul is here for
Yeah.
Christmas. After a good dinner, we're gonna have a Irish whiskey.
Irish whiskey. Yeah. Very nice.
It is. It is. I like that. All right. So tell me, what are you up to today? What is the question that you have?
Yeah. So I already expected that we would talk about Dublin a bit.
Yeah.
It went for 20 minutes. So I was thinking of a shorter question. It's hard because I think the question is also it gives a lot of room.
Well,
Um,
especially with the response you get from me.
yeah, but it really gives you a lot of room, I think,
Yeah.
because so this podcast that we do is called Tell Me That. Um, so I think it's also fair to talk a little bit more about your father. Um, we haven't done so much of that, only a bit in season one.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you is what is a character trait that you have taken over from him? In what regard are you similar to him? Because I never knew him.
Well, it's first of all, it's a shame that you never met your
Yeah,
grandpa. He is, he came from Croatia.
yeah,
He in World War II, as a very young man, he was part of the partisans fighting against the Germans actually, and they actually caught him. They put him in jail here in Germany, and when the Americans and the English guys came over to our area here, he was lucky, he got out of jail and he joined the British forces for a couple of years. And during that time, he met my mom, or yeah, he met your mother. No, he met
my grandmother.
your
Yeah,
grandma,
yeah,
and he really fell in love with her, and he did a lot for her family. He was not always treated that well from this family, but he still was so in love with my mom that he stayed in this area. He looked for a job, and well, by his profession actually was a carpenter,
yeah,
and uh, so he could create furnitures and windows and doors and whatever was made of wood. He could do it. He had in the house that he built for us in Duron, he had his own workshop with big workbench, and the tooling was so different at that time because they were not like the automatic tooling systems that you can buy today in any supermarket.
yeah,
It was all hand driven, even the drills, he was hand driven. It was just crazy, chisels and hand drill and whatever. So he was kind of a self-made man. He built this four family or four apartment house in Duron all by himself. And this is the short version now before I get into details. And then he was working in the construction business, and unfortunately, it was 49 years. He died. He had a um, kidney insufficiency,
yeah,
and it was just terrible to see him very slowly die because he spent like 2 days between hospital and our house, and it was terrible. But I mean, he was working a lot in his younger years to build a house, but also working for other people to because he had to make money. It was important. He had to make money. He had three sons,
yeah,
and the house that he had to finish, and so it was. a hardworking man. Now, where he came from Beli Manastir. It's in Croatia, near Osijek. It's on the Hungarian border.
Yeah.
And his family owned a big farm, a very big farm, and also with a vineyard, a big vineyard. And so they were not really poor people, you know. They had a good income, but for somehow he, as a young guy, 17, 18 years, he joined the partisans, risking his life every day,
Yeah.
and so he ended up in Germany. Um, I unfortunately he never really talked about or much about his past,
Yeah.
um, because um, he he had still a sister in Croatia, and he found out that his sister actually sold the complete farm and vineyard and everything. She sold that, and he came out of that deal empty.
Hmm.
He always told him, "Well, I'm going to send you some golden dinars, and we're going to share and all that bullshit, you know." So he never ever got a dime. So he was not really, missing his past, Croatia. He was living for his life in Germany and his family in Germany. And now, the features, character-wise, um, that I have kind of taken over from him is generosity.
Hmm.
That is, he could share.
Yeah.
He was a person that could share whatever he had. I mean, share. And this is something that I also like to do. Whenever I have something, I always look for something to share it with.
Yeah.
And I still remember, and now we are getting into food, you know.
Yeah.
Well, he got once a year, he got from Croatia, he got a big package with food. And that was from his sister when she was running that farm. You see, once a year they made sausage and ham and this and that and what have you.
Yeah.
So he got that big package with these cabanossi sausages and a big piece of ham
Yeah.
and salami and whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And so, big was like 20 kilos, 30 kilos food, you know, just meat, of
Yeah.
course, just meat. But it was such good stuff. You can't believe it, you know.
Yeah.
And the first thing they did, my mom and he, they they kind of made little packages, one for the grandma, one for this sister and that sister, and oh, I tell you, and what was left, you
Yeah.
know, a piece of ham, two cabanossis, and that was then for him, you know,
Yeah.
that was his part.
I could have
And
guessed. Yeah.
yeah,
That is
well,
just like you.
and yeah, well,
Yeah.
well, so when he was sitting in the kitchen, I still remember one day, I never will forget that, you know, when he was sitting in the kitchen, he got that stuff out, the basement. It was stored in the basement.
Yeah.
He got that out of the basement. So we had one cabanossi and a big piece of that ham, and he had this bell peppers and some onions, and he cut it all in pieces, and he put always some salt in a spoon, in a big
Okay.
spoon, and you dip these pieces from bell pepper and from onion, you dip that in that salt, and then you eat it, and then you eat a piece of ham or cabanossi with it. Well, when we did that, when he shared that with me,
Yeah.
my younger brothers, or my younger brother, my older brother, they were not interested at all, not
Crazy.
at all. you know. Um, and when we started to do that ceremony, also my mom, she left the kitchen, she
Yeah.
got out of the house, it was. Well, because of course this kind of food and sausage, and it was quite heavy on garlic
Sure.
and that stuff, but it was so tasty. It was so tasty. So
Yeah.
we were sitting there, we talked, and we had a great dinner. I mean, for me, it was a great dinner. He also had always with that dinner a piece of bread, but dark bread. It could easily be like 3 4 days old. I mean, no fresh bread, kind of dark bread. And you cut these pieces of bread. You don't put any butter on it. With this other stuff, you eat a piece of bread. So it was something. It was a ceremony that I will never forget in my life. It was
Yeah.
just, it was home. It
Yeah.
felt like home with my dad.
Yeah.
And it was great. I felt kind of sorry that my two brothers uh, didn't enjoy that at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. I mean, my younger brother, you know him, he was spoiled to that.
Yeah.
He got
You
his
told me, yeah.
plate with his little sandwich cut into little pieces, so
Yeah.
he didn't even have to do anything, just grab it, and eat it. And my older brother, he was always on the road with his sport cars and blondes
Yeah.
and whatever, brunettes
Yeah.
and whatever. So these two, they were not really interested. And then my mom, she couldn't get that. She couldn't stand that garlic smell.
Yeah.
So. But he and I, we really enjoyed that, and we shared every piece of meat that was on the table. So sharing something is a habit, a character, a piece of my character that I definitely have from my dad. Um, then another thing is helping people.
Yeah.
When someone is, to put it in plain words, when someone is in deep shit,
Yeah.
it's, hey, we put up our sleeves and we help.
Yeah.
You don't need to ask us, we help.
Yeah.
This is very important for me, that you don't wait until someone asks you to help. You see a problem, you're going to help.
Yeah.
And that's also the way my dad was. When someone had a big problem, he was always on site, and he helped and he worked and did this and that until the problem was solved. So this is something. And um, also to follow a road that gets you to the goal that you have set. His goal was, I'm going to build a house for my family. The base floor is where we live, and it also had an addition with additional rooms. It was kind of size-wise, it was kind of generously planned. And above that, we had 4 apartments. So the apartments were meant to create some income when he retired. And because before, the income was just to pay for the debt that was in the house. And so that was his plan, and he built a house, beautiful house, nice house. Today it's owned by my younger brother. Um, I don't want to get into these circumstances, but my dad's goal always was to build a house. The second goal that he have set was each son. Um, each son has to get a good education,
Yeah.
a great education. My older son, my older brother, and I, we both are engineers. Um, well, the older one, he kind of stopped halfway and he didn't really finish. The younger one is a medical doctor. It's also a very good education, and he makes his money. Well, I'm an engineer, and I travel the world, and this is also something. Now we get into the third item that I definitely have from my dad, because my mom. You can put her on this beautiful big world on one place, and she's gonna stay there. She is gonna create her
Okay.
own world
Yeah.
in a circle of like 1 kilometer, and that's it.
Yeah.
And if he leaves that 1 kilometer circle, for her, it's a huge trip, you know.
Yeah.
So um, I, at a very young age, when I just finished my education at the University of Cologne, I had that feeling inside. You have to get out of here. You have to get out of Germany. You have to see the world. And as you know, I went to the States, I went to Brazil, and I did work in India and in Thailand, um, and I enjoyed it. And later on, I had this feeling that well, German is not that bad,
Yeah.
but it also had something to do with security,
Yeah.
with health insurance, you
Yeah.
know. So put your family on safe ground. I uh, enjoyed Brazil, but it was kind of dangerous at that
Yeah.
time. I enjoyed United States, but United States, it's great as long as you are healthy, wealthy, you know. And if you lose your job, if you lose your income, if you lose your house for some reason, or if you get sick
Yeah.
and you don't have proper insurance, United States can be very tough.
Yeah.
Can be very tough. But I mean, it's always up to you whether you sign for a good health insurance, whether you prepare yourself for an occasion like that. So, but this is also something that I have from my dad, to get out of your nest, your the place that you were born, the place that you were raised. I mean, get out, look at the world. The world is so beautiful. Meet other people, meet other cultures, learn a different language. Um, and I still remember my dad, of course, was fluent in his native language, Croatian, but he also spoke fluent English. Okay, that has also something to do that he spent a couple of years
Yeah.
with the British forces, and he spoke German. So, three languages,
Yeah.
and he enjoyed that.
Yeah.
You know, he was, I mean, he was just a man that could pick up a language just like that. You know?
Yeah.
So this is something that I mean, you have to do a little bit for it, but some people, they have real difficulties to learn a different language. But for him it was fun. For me it's fun. For you it's fun. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So for some reason, these are the genes that we kind of share, and that go from generation to generation,
I
I
guess so,
suppose.
because I just wanted to
So
say then probably you see some similarity between him and myself as well.
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So these are, I mean, three really main character issues that or character features that I share with my dad, and of course the stuff that don't really need to be mentioned, but it's also important for life. Um, Being a good craftsman,
Yeah. Yeah.
like to fix things.
Yeah.
This is something
100%.
I tell you. My dad died when I was 15 years, and there
Yeah.
was that big house, and when he died, it didn't take long, and the first guy that rented an apartment said, "Well, we have a
Yeah.
problem with the faucet or with the bathroom; it's dripping, or here and there," and you grew into that, or there was a problem with the washing machine or the fridge or whatever. Well, you kind of put up your sleeve and get to it, and this is
Yeah.
something you might remember, that when we had a problem in our
Yeah.
house, you were
many
always
times.
my well, first you were my assistant,
Yeah,
and later on I just needed to mention the problem and give you a little hint, and you fixed it.
yeah,
You fixed it. And well, I still am. I am so proud
yeah,
because it is important. It is important that you have to let go. It's
yeah,
no fun when you always say, "Son, come on, I show you now how to fix it."
yeah,
Yes, you can do that once or twice, but at some stage it becomes boring for you, and I don't think it shows a lot of respect, to
yeah,
treating your son or someone always as a student, always as a student. You are the big teacher
yeah.
and he's a student. So, and I just talked to your mom about that. You and I, we have done a lot of projects in that house.
Oh yeah,
If
we
we
have.
would have, if we would have to call companies to do that,
Yeah,
oh, it would have cost a fortune,
literally.
a fortune.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, I mean, starting from lawnmower that you kind of redesigned,
Air
the air
filter.
air
Yeah.
input, the
Yeah.
air, the air filter, the air input.
Yeah.
I was about to give it up and throw it away. And
Yeah.
you put a new from another lawnmower. You put
Yeah.
a filter system on, and it fits. It works
It works
fantastic. I use that
perfectly. Yeah.
lawnmower almost every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And refrigerator and dishwasher, dishwasher,
Yeah.
to put a dishwasher in, connecting that, and in very tight space, and then there was this problem and that problem, and oh god, but it was kind of fun, it was kind of fun, and
Yeah.
and I just
I
loved it.
remember
Loved
shortly
it.
before I left, as you say, dishwasher, we changed one of the springs. You remember from the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
dishwasher
yeah,
door?
yeah, yeah. The door, the
Yeah.
door, the
Yeah.
door. Yeah, yeah. It had
From the
two.
door. Yeah.
Well, I was under the impression it had only one, but it had two.
It
It
had
had
two.
two,
Yeah.
two springs. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was, but it's kind of tricky work. So you have to.
Yeah.
Well, you can these days now. You can go into YouTube
Yeah.
and see how people do it, but it's still theory.
Yeah.
It's not someone is with you and guides your hands. It's just theory.
Yeah.
And sometimes these guys are kind of fast, and but just to work yourself into that and develop a kind of strategy how to fix it, and it worked. Look at the cars that you have still in the basement here,
Yeah.
the little racing cars that you took apart in 100,000 pieces and put together again,
Yeah.
just to change a little gear, or
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's amazing how these genes went from one generation to another. So this is also something that I have in common with my dad, and you have in common with me, I guess.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And then there is another thing: communication.
Yeah.
Communication. I love to talk to people.
Yeah. So
I
do
love
I.
to talk. Just before we started this podcast, I told you, uh, when I was going to back to the airport again with mom. I love to talk to taxi drivers,
Yeah.
because taxi drivers, in most cases, um, they're always coming from a different country.
Yeah.
You know? And then you talk to them about their history, about their experience, and and you get a totally different point of view from them. When you say, "Well, what do you think about Dublin?" and they give you their point of view and their tell about their experience, it is so different from what you just experienced in that one week, and you kind of learn from that. So, well, whenever I'm traveling, I drive these taxi drivers crazy, and then of course I like to talk to them in their in the language that they
Yeah.
that they are living, the area that they are living in, like Dublin English, of course. But on Madeira, when I get into that taxi, I talk to these guys in Portuguese, and I don't stop until we reach
Yeah.
the hotel.
Yeah.
It's so enjoyable. So that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What do you think? What would your dad have said if? So imagine he was around today.
yeah.
If I suggested such a podcast episode to him, like doing it with him.
Well, he was kind of a curious person.
Okay.
Of course, the technology that's available today, um, it was not available at
Sure.
that time.
Yeah.
But the big but,
Yeah.
he had the most sophisticated tools that were available at that time. The tools he had in his basement, whenever there was something new on the market, he bought it.
Yeah.
He had the best electric drilling machine. He had the best. He bought the best from Black and Decker, the best handsaw.
Yeah.
He bought. I mean, the most sophisticated tools that he could get his hands on. He bought it immediately. So you cannot compare that with tools that are available today.
Sure.
You have these tooling systems. You have one drive system, and you can add whatever. So but I must say, he was a very curious person, and he always went for the best.
Yeah.
That was his philosophy. Don't buy twice, buy once, and buy the right thing. Buy the best that you can get. And if he would be around today, I'm sure he would be probably even ahead of me in regards to IT technology. And yeah, because he was not. I mean, this word. Well, it's good enough, or well, I can live with that. And no, that was not his philosophy.
Yeah.
He wanted to know, and he wanted to do.
Yeah.
So he would probably sit here uh, on that desk, and you would ask, "Tell me, Grandpa."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing. He was in that regard. He was a very curious person that wanted to know everything, and he enjoyed whenever there was something new.
Yeah.
So he was a great guy. He was a great guy. Very very special person.
Yeah. Sounds like a great guy.
And yeah, he was a great guy. He was a great guy. He was a very handsome fellow. It's you know you know there is one actor that looks very similar, and that is Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah.
Humphrey Bogart is, I mean, visually, he is almost well. He
Yeah.
could be
True.
a brother.
Yeah.
He could be a brother of my dad.
Yeah. I
So
looked him up right now. Yeah. True.
yeah,
From what I've
that is,
seen on the pictures
yeah,
of your
yeah,
dad. Yeah. Pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah, 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 pretty much. So that's it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, my dad did not become
He did not become an
an
actor.
actor.
Yeah.
All right, all right. So my son,
That was a lot of fun.
I th- I think it was a lot of fun. It was a great podcast. Very uh, well. It's we get sometimes very emotional when we talk about these things. Well, I get
Yeah.
inside. I
Sure.
get very emotional, and
Sure.
because we're gonna touch some grounds that I haven't been on for a long time,
Yeah.
and but this is something that I enjoy very much, and I'm probably gonna do a lot of thinking later on, and
As always.
and yeah, it's tonight probably the same. But anyway,
Not
so
gonna sleep again tonight.
well, I'm gonna sleep, but still,
Yeah.
I mean, until I sleep, it's
Yeah.
I kind of go through this podcast again. Anyway, so I'm gonna let you off the hook now. Let's see what you can create from this podcast
Oh
today,
yeah.
and I
Well.
hope I hope you enjoyed it and you had fun.
I did.
And so now I'm gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna drive your mom crazy again.
Sure, go ahead.
You take care. All the best, and say hello to your friends in Dublin.
I
All
will.
right.
Talk to you next time.
Okay. Take care, son. Bye
Bye bye.
bye.
Thank you everyone for listening to this episode. If you're interested in what my dad has to share next time, then make sure to tune in again next week. And if you have any questions that you want my dad to answer, then please feel free to send them to us. Hope to see you next week. Bye bye.